When are we live?
We're live.
Oh, we are live. So
I just pushed the button.
Oh, hello everybody. We'll get started in about 10 minutes.
Now in Portuguese, go.
are these pictures or the presentation going to be available online like as a PDF or like not a PDF, just as a
That was Chris. That's his laptop right there. Chris, I'll show you. You can ask him.
Okay.
The live stream.
Yeah, that's some pictures I don't have.
That's so cool.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I want to see.
Well, I'm live streaming that screen. It'll make a difference. But at least you'll have it weird quality. But I'll show you Chris's and you can ask him.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Jonas. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. So please grab food, give hugs to loved ones, and we'll start in about 5 minutes. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello. Can you hear me okay? Thank you, Jason. My name is Chris Jonas, and I'm here along with all of you celebrating the life of our beloved Neila Ferrari. 1974, Neila came into my life and the life of the Jonas family, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with all of you. The way things are going to work right now is we're going to have a few people who are going to come forward. I think there's 7 of us. And we're going to tell the stories of different parts of Neila's life. And then we're going to open it up to everybody else. So it's like about 40 minutes of probably of our own recollections of Neila. And then everybody else share. And so we're going to get started. Rick is going to come up and give an overview of Neila's beautiful life. So Rick, can we have you come up? And thank you everybody for being here. It means so much to all of us that we're here together celebrating her life. Here's Rick.
I've got something very scripted that my cousins helped write for me, and I'm probably going to stick to it only partially. So it's been wonderful to see friends, to see family, to see the Jonases, people that loved Neila. But if I'm honest, I really hate this. I hate why I'm here. And I'm struggling to celebrate. But she had a wonderful life, and I remember it, and I remember the moments. But it's not easy. And I don't think it's supposed to be. But we're going to talk about the things we remember, the smiles that last. So, the script, and I'm going to share 3 things that I remember. The first thing that I remember is going to Harold's son's wedding. And Lisa, my wife, and Neila and I are traveling together. And we're getting on the plane, and we're walking up the aisle. And Neila happens to be last. And Neila is walking up with one of the stewardesses. Use this one?
Well, no, I should talk.
Okay. Hit both of them.
Yeah, you can hit both of them.
So, walking up last. And she's telling the stewardess that we're a throuple, that we want to join the Mile High Club, and that she should ignore noises that she might hear toward the back of the plane. And I know none of this because I'm walking up first or ahead. So I don't know what the stewardess believed or thought, but I know that we were served cocktails the entire flight, that she kept us well supplied. So you always had to wonder what Neila was saying, not only to you, but about you. So the overview. Neila was born in Rio, 1955, to my oldest uncle, Horacio, the oldest of the Ferrari kids, and his wife, Maria Aparecida Ferrari. And they moved from Rio, I'm not exactly sure, but it was shortly after that, to Petrópolis. Petrópolis is a hilly area outside of Rio, beautiful green, and that's where she grew up. Jumping ahead to high school age, she's in her teens and she's coming here to the U.S. And I remember, I believe I learned last night, Wes was telling me that she went to Orangewood Academy for a brief period of time. And and you're a high school kid, and it's a second language, and there's challenges with that, but she, with that personality, made friends. And so those years, that year at high school at Orangewood, and then finishing up another high school. And it was in that early 70s that she met the Jonas family, taking care of some small Jonas kids. And that relationship, I don't know if they knew it at the time, but that relationship transformed into another family, a daughter, you know, and it was fantastic. 1978, she returned to Brazil. Her mother was ill, ultimately passed away. And Neila stayed in Brazil for a few years, having fallen in love with a Brazilian man, and was in Rio for a couple of years until they separated. And then she met her first husband in Brazil, and they lived, although I never saw it, she lived in a beautiful penthouse area right above Copacabana Beach. Lots of stories of fun times being there. The relationship was tumultuous, I think is probably the best word, and it ultimately separated. And it was in the early 90s now that Neila came back to the U.S. And this time with the Jonas family, it wasn't taking care of kids. It was that family relationship, the daughter and the family that she grew to love dearly. And I know they loved her as well. Second, recollection. So there is one, for me, one distinct thing that was missing from this early afternoon. And that is that being called and walking up, Neila would have grabbed my ass and pinched it and told me, "Oh, you look sexy today." And so I'd like for that spirit to be here a little bit. So you can turn to your left, pick a body part, give it a little squeeze, and tell that person, "You look sexy today." No lingering, just a quick squeeze and move on. Okay. So Neila started working as a lab technician, extremely successful at it. She worked for several of the labs in the area and doing work with some very exclusive doctors who had even more exclusive client lists where excellence, yes, personality, discretion, and anonymity were at a premium. And so this involved traveling to a variety of places to see people who, you know, needed care, but where anonymity was critical. And she filled that role extremely well. People loved her and her abilities. Anyone who had a tough time in getting lab work done, whatever, Neila was able to sweet talk them and with her expertise, you know, do what needed to be done, and they had a wonderful time doing it. Neila met her second husband, Art. They were in Santa Monica. Well, she was in Santa Monica, and then they were in Santa Monica, and there for a number of years. And then moved to Orange County, to Aliso Viejo, where they lived and where she probably had the three real loves, the three dogs. Little Guy Buster and Big George. And Neila and Art worked together for about 20 years from that time frame and separated in 17. And Neila, in that time period, was working and rejoined the Jonas family. And again, that relationship is something that was beautiful to see from my perspective. Dr. Jonas passed away, which was a big blow. And Neila and Johan became even closer. I would see them together, a couple barbecues at my house, times when we would do things together, and you could see the relationship between the two of them, the love, the caring that went both ways. And this has got to be so hard for her, because it was a right-hand person, and that is very hard to replace. But she loved Mom and Dad Jonas very, very much. This last year, she got ill. We know that part. It was much more rapid than I certainly knew, although I was involved with Omar, keeping me posted daily, Isabella talking daily. I was away. I saw her just before I left. Talked to her there at the hospital. And she was, of course, flirting with the handsome male nurse, even with the oxygen mask that was coming in. On June 26th, tough day. I was in Victoria, British Columbia, and knew that things were imminent. And my wife and I looked for a place to go to. And I was, as we were walking there, it was a beautiful cathedral. There was the third recollection of Neila that is always there, but that gets sometimes overshadowed by the playfulness, the teasing, the fun sides too. And that part is how unbelievably caring she was. I'm sure to you, but certainly to me. She would check in with me often. In particular, this last year, as my mom's health was changing. But would go out of her way to check in on me, to take care of my mom, take care of my dad. She would stop by after my mom passed away to take him for a beer and a sandwich, and it was wonderful. So, walking to the cathedral, hoping it will be the right kind of place to say goodbye. And it's beautiful. Stained glass, all that stuff. But I knew it was the right place. We walked in, and there are candles. White candles lit. Prayers that have already been said. And I look over and I think, yeah, that's a cool idea. It's not part of the religion I grew up with, but I like that. And so I looked over and I knew that I was in the right place. Because over on the very side of all the white candles you could choose from, there were 2 red ones. So I could pick a red one. And it would be a prayer that would go, that was just a little bit different than all the other white ones. And that is Neila to me. Wonderful, warm, caring, and just a little bit different than anybody else. Do I call the next one? Tavanis. Who wears a blue suit far better than I do.
I have to prove this in any case. My part is short, but very significant. about recollections. I was, for the first time, with Neila, with my lovely wife, and she ran, and she grabs me and comes to my lap, and she kisses me on the lips, and she asks, "Who is she?" And I told her she understands English. She was assuming that being Brazilian that she wouldn't understand. She said, "Oh, okay." Neila was born in Rio, in the same hospital that I was. I was born a year later, and we grew up together in Rio. I was living in Rio. She moved to Petrópolis, a very lovely place in the Sierra, outskirts of Rio, where the imperial family would go for summer, and they lived in a ranch. It was lovely. My uncle, he was a technician in agriculture and veterinarian, and pretty soon Neila learned all those skills too. I can remember her like 7 years old, and she was already able to milk cows by hand, and she was very clever. First, fast with her feet and fast with her mind. And then, second recollection, she was light, so she could climb the last branch of a tree, and provocative, yes. She would grab her ass or do anything like that. We would go after her. She would go to the last branch and say, "Follow me." And that, of course, as a child, "No, I won't follow you." "Yes, I told you to go away." "I won't go away, stay." And she was provocative. She teased us all the time. And as time passed by like 10 or 11, she could drive tractors. And by 13, she was driving cars. She was doing very well in school. And for one reason or the other, when she was in 8th grade, she lived in our house with my mom, dad, and me for 1 year. It was spectacular. At the time, we were teenagers, and I would give her all the tips about the boys that were interested, and she would give all the tips about the girlfriends that would be interested or that I was interested, and would ask her. It was a wonderful time. Then she came to the U.S. It was my first loss. The one thing that I remember, 9311 West Cliff Drive, 92646, because there was no internet. We had to write letters, and I would write letters to her almost every single week, and she would respond to me. Later on, I made little money to call, but it was difficult at that time to communicate. But we survived. And from there on, we would see each other when she went to Brazil and could come here, but I think there's a lot more to be said in the next years that she spent here. My heart goes to all the Jonases. My heart goes to all the Ferraris. And I thank God for the privilege that I had to be Neilinha's cousin. Neila, in Portuguese, when you, in an affectionate way, you put in diminutive, you put I-N-G-A for girls, I-N-G-O-H-I-N-H-O for boys, I-N-H-A for girls. She was Neilin, and she will be Neilin in my heart forever. Thank you. I think Marceli will follow.
Hello, thank you all for being here. It's going to be tougher than I thought. Okay. I'm Marceli, Neila's niece from Brazil. I'm here. It's a very difficult time for our family. My dad, her brother, really wishes he was here today. So I'm speaking on his behalf, and also my brothers, Vitinho and Fabinho, and also my husband and Carol, my sister-in-law, and the kids. I have 2 kids. My brother has a daughter, and they all wish they were here. But anyways, I'm speaking for me and for them. So I think I can't begin to talk about Neila without saying that she was presence. She was the kind of person who would walk into a room and she would laugh loudly. She would tease everybody. She would bring people together. She would leave a mark wherever she went, and you could never ignore her because she was always there, you know, in her own way. And our family has lots of memories with her. My father and Neila used to tease, they used to team up to tease their older sister, Neila's mother, because she was the oldest. They would team up and make her mad and, you know, chase after her and, you know, like younger brothers do. They had so much fun together. And I was talking to my dad, and he said that he thinks about her many times during the day. So I think that's the hardest part, because she's everywhere in every single way. So it's kind of hard for you to go through the day without thinking of her and without missing her. Victor, my brother, we call him Vitinho. He was probably her favorite nephew, not because of favoritism or anything like that, but because they were so much alike. They were irreverent, funny, bold, always pushing limits. So they really connected. And now I think that the same spirit lives on through his daughter, Valentina, who is just like Neila. And Fabinho, my other brother, he talked to her all the time. They would text a lot, they would FaceTime. And one of his favorite memories about her, they kind of had a ritual, was laughter, because he would imitate her laugh and she would laugh harder so that he could imitate her more, and then they would end up in a loop of laughter and they wouldn't stop. And it was like fun to see how things were going, because I was like, oh my God, they're never gonna stop, because she's gonna laugh and then she, you know, so it goes on and on. I can't imagine. Carol, my sister-in-law, she often says that Neila was incredibly authentic and fun. She was exactly who she was, no filters, no efforts, and she made everyone around her feel comfortable being themselves. So I think that's one thing that it's so her. Mayuso, my husband, and Neila, they connected right away. I remember this story because what Rick was telling and what Calvanis said. They used to call each other filet, which it's the same in English, like filet, the meat, the best part, because they thought they were like incredibly hot and irresistible. So she would call him filet, and he would call her filet. So you were walking the street, and he was like filet, and people were like, what? I mean, and they never called each other Mayuso and Neila. It was just filet. It was their thing right from the beginning. I don't even know how it started, but anyways. And it's funny because she used to pick with my other boyfriends. She wouldn't like them for some reason. But when she met him, they just clicked. They jumped into each other's jokes and arms. She would, run to the street and jump into his lap, and people. I was coming like right next to them, so people would stare like, what is this lady doing? Like jumping on the man on the street? Like, who is the girl with him? I mean, anyways, fun to watch. And then lately we could watch Neila with our kids. Valentina, Gael, and Cadu. There's a few pictures of them over here. And last March, when she went to Rio, it was like watching my brothers and me when we were little, because they played together, they got in trouble together, they teased each other. I mean, the three of them and Neila, the four of them, not just the kids. So just so you guys have the picture, because they would run around playing tag and hide and seek. She used to tickle them, and they called her the crazy aunt. And that's funny because when we were little, we used to call her the crazy aunt, like tia doida in Portuguese, because she was, she was not a normal aunt. She was, you know what I mean, you knew her, right? So she was one of a kind, and then we used to call her tia doida, and then the kids call her tia doida. And the funny thing is that we didn't tell them that. They started calling her that by themselves. So I was like, oh my God, history really does repeat itself, right? Because and I think that's a good thing, because I think they saw her the same way that we did. We was a fun person, to be around. And I also had a special bond with her. I mean, in many ways, but one thing is that we had the same size, like shoes and clothes. So one of the things that she used to do is she would set aside things that she thought I might like. And I was more like a tomboy, which was kind of disappointing to her at some point, because she wanted me to dress nicely. But I thank her for that, because I do own very pretty things that she gave me, So, and what she would do, she would come, bring me the clothes and shoes and everything, and then she would make me try every single one of the clothes, and she told me I was beautiful. She was like, oh, it looks great on you, go try the other one. And then she would take pictures and we would laugh together. So it was something that was us, was really nice. And what I know is that she always wanted everyone to be okay. She wanted us to be together. She valued relationships, families, and friends alike. She made friends easy. And I truly believe that there was no one who didn't like her. She was always joking, always finding humor in life, even when life wasn't so easy. And I think that the idea for me is that she was one of a kind. There's nobody like her. And we'll never meet anyone like her again. And that's sad. But also, it got me thinking that we have a saying in Brazil, I don't know if I have it here, it says that missing someone is a sign that you are lucky. So, I feel lucky, and I'm sure all of you do, and even in this time of pain, I just wanted us to remind about the privilege that was having her in our lives, and that's why we're here today. And even through the pain, I feel nothing but gratitude and, happiness too. Not because of her death, but because I had the opportunity to have her in my life. So that's what I wanted to share today with you, and how I think we should remember her. She will be forever in our hearts, and she will live through us in the memories that we share. Thank you.
Okay. Most of you know me. If you don't know me, my name is Neila. So Victor was the favorite nephew. I'm the favorite niece. I'm sorry. I'm the favorite niece. And the reason being, I was the first one until I was about 19 years old. And then comes this one. And I'm like, all right, I have another one. But I'm still the favorite in the sense that my name was made from Naila's name. She gave me my name. Her name is, I have my name because of her name. And the great part of being so different, one is because I know she gave me my name. And I have a unique name. The other part is sucks, because nobody can pronounce my name. Another thing is, my family cannot even spell my name right. Because when they did my name, they decided to change from Naila's N-E-I to take the I and put a Y. And I'm like, really? You make difficult for the family and from the people to just spell my name. So my name has spellings really different. But I like that. It's just so different. But at the end of the day, I love my aunt. She was my second mom. She was perky, and I want to do some different stuff. My mom said no. Guess what she did? She didn't. She took me to stuff that my mom would never take. And talking to my cousins last night, I remember one thing that really stuck to me, that I really want to get my second pierce in my ear. And my mom, for 6 months, she will not allow me to do that. Guess what? She did it for me. Took 1 month for my mom to talk to me back, but Neila did it, and she kept saying, hey, it's okay. She's a teenager. Let her be a teenager. Let her be, what she wants to be. And because of Neila, I came to the United States. And I came and stayed with her for a little bit with Mrs. Jonah's house. And I cannot thank them enough. They are being there for Neila the hard and the happiest time. So one of the things that I'm here to talk is mainly to say thank you for the Jonas family. Our family in Brazil cannot say enough. So what you guys did for her. Neila was lucky, like Marceli said. She was lucky because she has two beautiful families. We have the Ferrari family and we have the Jonas family. Some people has not even lucky to have a mother. She had two. She had two dads. She had brothers and sisters. She doubled her because that was Neila. Neila can come to a room and everybody's quiet and she can line up. And everybody start talking, everybody start laughing because Neila was in that room. And like my cousin said, we are very lucky to have her with us. So when she passed, the first thing that hurt me the most is because I could not talk to her every week. We had a date. We had a date every week. We talked to each other every week without missing a beat. And every time I got out of that house with a client, I found myself touching my phone to call her. And I had to stop my car and I had to say, I cannot call my aunt. She's not here. But I can talk to her through God. I can say it, I miss you. I wish that you were here, that you can make me laugh, that you can make me uncomfortable. How many of you were uncomfortable on the jokes that she made? I can say everybody in this room probably had something that she made you very uncomfortable. But that was my aunt. And I was so lucky to have her. And I'm lucky to have her before you. Because I got to have her as a mother. It was my second mother. She was there for me. When my mom got divorced, she was there. Especially when she came back to Brazil by having spent a lot of years here in the United States. She was amazing. I got to see her, the best and the worst. But I cannot trade anything, the time that I had with her. That was the best time ever. And I'm going to finish with this. Mrs. Jonas' family, for all the family in Brazil, Neymásio, and my mom, they asked me to say thank you. Thank you so much, because you guys made Neila's life beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
And Janet, I think you're next up. Janet, are you here? Here she comes. What a beautiful thing to be sharing this with all of you. I'm sorry for the feedback.
Chris, did you introduce yourself yet?
Yeah, I did. I think I did. Did you all know I'm Chris Jonas? Okay, here's Janet.
A lot of the things that have been said about Neila, I was going to say as well. She definitely was crazy. I had the privilege, more tin some of my cousins, to interact with Neila before she moved to the U.S. the second time, because my mom would go to Brazil a lot, and so she would always take me with her. So I got to see Neila in her element in Rio when she lived in Copacabana, and she and I had a relationship she was quite a bit older than me, but she and I had a relationship from when I was probably 10, 12 years old, even though she lived in Brazil. And there are a lot of words that can describe what it was like to have Neila in our family. Like I said, yeah, she was crazy, she was kooky, she was scandalous, but I think the one word that comes to mind the most, if I were to describe Neila, is that she was sunshine. Neila was always happy. It did not matter what was happening. She was always happy, always smiling. She was always getting all of us riled up. Let's dance, let's be funny, let's be silly, let's be goofy. And having that in your family is a wonderful thing. Even when, just as all families do, there are disagreements or anything, Neila was the one that was always saying, like, hey, let's be happy, let's get along, let's, all of these little petty things don't matter. Petty fighting, it doesn't matter. What matters is just value life, and she valued family more than anything. All of her family was so important to her. The Ferraris and the Jonases, they were her life. And all I can say is she'll be greatly missed.
Thank you, Janet. Jared, I think you're up next. Jared Jonas is Jason Jonas's son, and will be speaking on behalf of the Jonas family. Our beautiful years, many years with Neila.
Neila's story with our family began in 1974, when the matriarch of our family, Johann Jonas, turned 45. Life was very full then for the Dr. and Mrs. Jonas. Dick's medical career as a successful obstetrician was taking off. Their social life was bustling, and they were raising 3 young children. Stephen, who was 15, Christopher, who was 7, and my dad, Jason, who was 4 at the time. Neila's aunt, Linnea, knew Johann and could see how overwhelmed she was. She suggested that her niece, Neila, who had recently come to America from Rio de Janeiro, might live with and help with the Jonas family in Newport Beach. With Neila assisting with housekeeping and babysitting, Johann would have more time for her volunteer work at the Newport Beach Contemporary Art Museum, and of course, everything else life was throwing her way. Johann agreed. Not long after, there was a knock at the front door. Holding the hands of Christopher and Jason, Johann opened it, and Neila took one look at those little boys and immediately burst into tears. Johann's first thought was, "Oh dear, I don't need another child." But it turned out to be love at first sight. She lived with them for more than 4 years, until she had to return to Brazil after the sudden passing of her own mother. 12 years later, in 1990, Neila returned to the United States and moved right back in with Dick and Johann, this time to their hilltop home in Laguna Beach. Though she was all grown up, she needed love, support, and a fresh start. She found those quickly, along with a fulfilling career and lifelong friends. 3 years later, tragedy struck again when the family home burned to the ground in a firestorm, taking all of Neila's belongings with it. Not long after, she married and began yet another new chapter in Orange County. And still, through everything, Neila never stopped celebrating holidays with us. About 15 years ago, Neila called Johann and Dick and simply asked, "Can I come home?" The answer, of course, was yes. She returned once more to their rebuilt home in Laguna Beach, where she lovingly helped care for them as they grew older. During COVID, they sheltered together, deepening a bond that they had already rooted in trust, laughter, and affection. It was during this time that Neila, out of her generous heart, dedicated herself to caring for them for the rest of their lives. It was around this time when my relationship with Neila began to deepen. I was visiting Dick and Johann more often, and spent a lot of time with Neila, running errands, cooking, and sneaking out after dinner to share conversations over a beer. I began to look forward to the ritual of cooking our delicious chicken Milanese together and our walks along the beach after we finished the dishes. We were always teasing each other, which to an outsider might have seemed like we didn't get along. But in reality, she became one of my best friends, and I became one of her boo-boos. Occasionally, my friends would come to visit, and they fell in love with her antics and her heartwarming personality. We would often spend hours together, laughing and chatting about anything and everything. And they too would look forward to the next time that they could see their boo-boo again, highlighting just how important she was to so many of us. After Dick passed away 3 years ago, Neila continued living with Johan, and together they supported one another, laughed often, and found comfort in the simple joys of everyday life, something only possible when two people truly love and trust one another. It's impossible to count the meals the entire Jonas family. Okay, good job. It's impossible to count the meals the Jonas family shared with Neila, the holidays we celebrated, and the ordinary and extraordinary days Neila made brighter just by being herself. Her absence leaves a space in our heart that only time and the hope of seeing her one day again can someday ease. What a blessing her life has been to all of us. Neila, you've touched the hearts of an uncountable number of us, making so many unforgettable memories together. Memories that all of us will cherish for the rest of our lives. We love you, Boo Boo, and we miss you so very much. Thank you.
Okay, so, and of course, Neila touched many of us in many different ways. And also, good grief. From the medical world, Pinky's going to speak about Neila's work life and the beautiful people who loved Neila from that world. Pinky?
Hello, everybody. My name is Pinakini, but Mom used to call me Pink. She couldn't say my name, Pinakini. She was my mom. I stand here to honor a woman who was not just my co-worker, my best friend, but my mother. And to say she earned that title would be understatement. For she wasn't promoted to this title by HR, but by her own values and our bonding together. Our story began on the first day at work, at the orientation. I remember August 15, 2015, we had orientation at work, and we were sitting together in a room, in a small conference room where we were 15 of us in the room. And at the orientation, we were supposed to look at the videos and the brochures and everything, but she was busy talking, yapping, galloping everywhere, introducing herself with people. And here I'm sitting next to her, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to pull her back and make her sit back here, because everybody's watching videos, but unlike her, galloping away and introducing herself. After that, the gentleman over there who was in charge, he goes, ma'am, you gotta sit down. Ma'am, you gotta sit down. Okay, I get it. And she comes and she sits next to me, and then she introduces herself with me. So we introduced each other, and she goes, this is my first day. I said, yes, mine too. Meeting for the first time. And she kept talking, and the guy was shh, ma'am. And I'm like, okay, we'll talk later. And we started laughing and talking, and suddenly she introduces herself, and it happened to be that she tells me her age, and I'm like, I don't need to know her age, we're here for orientation. And then I told her, oh, wow, you're almost my mom's age, and my values and my culture do not teach me somebody to call by their first name, so can I call you mom? And she goes, what? And the look that she had on her face was priceless, I must say. And she goes, let's see about that. And then I said, okay, let's continue watching the orientation. We'll catch up later on that, okay? Because the guy kept saying, shh, ma'am, shh. I said, okay. So we continued that, but still she couldn't stop. She just gallivanting everywhere, and talking. And the guy goes, ma'am, you got to fill your paperwork, okay? And I'm sitting over here trying to fill up my paperwork, She comes next to me, and she goes, okay, daughter. And I was like, okay. So she earned the title, mom, and me being your daughter now. So she goes, okay, it's your job to fill up the documentation. Okay, so that's why now I'm your daughter, because now I have to fill up all your documents. And she goes, yes, you said mom, and I'm giving you, delegating you with my paperwork, so you sit and fill it up. So I'm sitting and filling up, and she's still gallivanting everywhere. And the guy goes, ma'am, did you fill up your paperwork? And he goes, no, my daughter is doing that. Okay, so then I said, okay, come here. I got to fill up some information. It's personal. I don't know. You come and sit here, And she picks up the wrapper. She opens her bag. She picks up the candy that she had, and she goes, the wrapper is so loud. She puts that candy in her mouth, and she's chewing that candy, and you see the candies that I've left on each of your table. If you can take one, please do. So every time she meets somebody, she shares these candies. Here one. So, and she's grabbing that candy in her mouth and she's chewing away, but she did not fill up her paperwork. Okay, I filled up her paperwork, and then 6 hours later, we stepped out. The orientation was done, and we were walking out, and we parting ways. I said, okay, see you. She goes, okay, daughter. I said, really? You really mean it, right? She goes, yes. Yeah, you gave me a title of my mother. I said, yeah, that remains permanent. It's not going to change. And she goes, okay, daughter, I love you. So I came back towards her. I gave her a tight hug, and I said, remember, this title is permanent. It does not go away. So 2015 till today, till her last day, and of course, forever, this title remains the same as being my mother. One day comes at night, I think it was around 10 o'clock, which is very late for her. Apparently she goes to bed early. She calls me at night at 11. Our bonding grew greater and bigger. She calls me, okay, daughter, we're going to Brazil. And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, we're going to Brazil. I said, okay, what do I need? Next early morning at 7 o'clock, I'm getting ready for work. She's getting ready for work too. She goes, okay, I have everything for you. We need to get your visa done, this, that. I'm like, okay, so you did everything for me? And she goes, yes, I did it. All I need is your passport, and you get your tickets done. I'll tell you where, which airport and all that, and we go to Brazil. Believe it or not, I went with her to Brazil. I stayed at her place for 1 month. Yes, I stayed with her for the whole month. And I was introduced there with the entire family as a daughter, not as a co-worker. And everybody was shocked, like, you have a daughter? Yes, she's right here, So, unusual like her, I was introduced as her daughter, and it was a lovely trip. I spent 4 weeks with her. Met the entire family. Not even once I felt any different, not being her daughter at all, So these were the stories that stays permanent with me my entire life. The bonding grew stronger and stronger. In the time that she left, it was sad. I could not see her. Isabella reached out to me very late. I was not there to hold her hand. But wherever she is today, I was supposed to see her on her birthday. She wasn't there. Wherever she is there, God bless her. May her soul rest in peace. I love you always. And I will always be there for her. Thank you.
Thank you, Pink. And Isabella? Isabel is the last of our pre-planned speakers, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll open it to everybody else. Here's Isabella.
Look at this room. Look at all the people in Neila's lives. The Brazilian life, the American life. We are all so blessed to have met Neila. Neila is truly one of a kind. When God created her, He broke the mold. Her incredible laugh, jokes, teasing, and contagious happiness. I moved to the U.S. in 1990, the same day Neila returned to live in the U.S. for the second time in her life. A Brazilian friend told me that her Spanish friend knew a Brazilian girl, and she was having a party in Emerald Bay. And she invited me. That's when I met Neila. Thank you, Angela. Because of you, I met Neila. It was love at first sight, but not only that. That day, God blessed me with a chosen sister and a best friend. He blessed me with her love and our unconditional friendship. Those first few years in the U.S. were hard for us. We missed Brazil, our families, and our friends. But the universe always aligned so that we would rarely have a hard day at the same time, so we could always lift each other up. As years went by, this country became our home, and we had fewer saudade days. In our 35 years of friendship, we never fought or stayed mad at each other. We knew we had each other's back. She made my life better. Neila was stubborn. She drove me crazy, and she never missed a chance to embarrass me and most of you in this room. Like bringing a farting machine when we went to Spain and Italy. Neila did that. Or showing her boobs way too many times. She did that too. All the time. But I wouldn't change her for the world. Neila had her pain and struggles, but that never stopped her from smiling and bringing happiness wherever she went. I was so proud of my friendship that every time I talked to someone about Neila, I always made sure to say, my best friend Neila. Neila loved people. Wherever she went, there were no strangers. She spoke to everyone and treated them all with the same kindness. I always said that she made the janitor and the CEO feel equally special. She made every boo-boo feel like he was the most special. And she always shared her love and her time with her family and friends. Neila loved animals. She loved her dogs and birds with all her soul. She talked and kissed them as a mother would to her children, because they were her children. She said hi, boo-boo, to every dog she ever came across. And if you were ever with Neila and she saw a dog, you know she would play with that dog and say, hi, boo-boo. Neila loved plants. When she moved from Los Angeles to Orange County, she brought over 300 pots of plants. Her backyard was a little paradise. She wrote, my hard work in my yard is my therapy. And it was also her pride and joy. Neila loved food. Who does not know about Naila's love for food, of food? And she loved food. It always amazed me how she had her fork and her knife so properly, with such poise and elegance, whether she was having breakfast at home or dining at a Michelin-starred restaurant. That is because she truly enjoyed her meal, every meal. Neila loved Christmas. Decorating her tree in her house each year filled her heart with joy. She was born in a small town outside Rio de Janeiro. She came from such a simple place, but you could never tell because she was beautiful and elegant. She loved beautiful things, her clothes, perfumes, her manicure, her lipstick, her hair, her glasses. She had the most beautiful hands and feet I've ever seen. Neila lost her mother at a young age, but God blessed her with her American mother, Johan Jonas, the most amazing woman. Thank you, Johan, for loving her like a daughter. And the Jonas family, who opened their hearts and home and loved Neila like their own. Neila spent the last 2 weeks of her life at the hospital. Everyone who came into the room would not believe she was days short of her 70th birthday. Neila and I want to thank you, her cousin Omar and Rick, her brother Jason, Diego, for being there with us every day. And also, who were able to come and see her, and all the people who were praying for her here in the US and in Brazil. Neila brought many beautiful people into my life, and because of her, I know many of you in this room and those of you watching from afar. She shared her Brazilian and American family and her friends with me. She also introduced me to my Italian mom and dad, Mama Bina and Don Nino. Looking at us from up above, and last but not least, because of her, I met my partner, Diego Velasco. Thank you, Neila. Thank you, sister. If you are here today in this room, it's because you're part of Neila's life. And I want to thank you for loving her. Please know she loved you with all the lightness in her heart. Neila, thank you for being the best friend a person can have. I love you with all my heart. My life is not the same without you in it. I miss you every day, and I can't wait to see you again. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you for loving Neila.
Thank you, Isabella. We're going to take about a 10-minute break. So everybody use the restroom, grab more food, get some drink, and then we're going to open it up to other stories and recollections. Thank you.
I'm the mother of the child.
Oh, I'm live streaming, yeah.
It is recording too, or just live streaming?
Recording on individual camera.
That was
Okay, everybody. We're going to call everybody back. We'll get a chance to mingle and catch up with everybody in a little bit, but please come back to your seats. And we're going to open up the floor to other people. We'll start up in about 1 minute. And there are people live streams who are waiting for additional memorials. So. Okay, everybody, let's start up again.
Well, I thought it was fine.
Okay, everybody, please sit down. And there will be an opportunity to hang out afterwards. I know the energy of the room has tilted already towards people engaging one another, but I do want to give a chance for other people to give remembrances. And something I wanted to say. is I feel like an opportunity like today is a unique one for so many of us. We live our daily lives and we have our daily concerns. And somebody like Neila was forever shattering those those daily life concerns. And I just want to point out that none of us are talking about career and none of us are talking about worldly accomplishments. Neila reminded us, and an event like today reminds us, that we consist of this web of relationships. And through Neila's eyes, this web of love. That one of the things I think I've learned from Neila and from all of this is that what family is, it includes blood, but it also includes love. And I don't know if family is necessarily something we get. I think family and home and belonging is something we make. And we make it through loving kindness to one another. And if anybody in the world who had loving kindness, it was Neila. Today is an opportunity for us to put the pieces together of who Neila's love was. And so if there's anybody here today who wants to bring parts of Neila's loving world to the gathering of this community today, please come forward. And we would love to hear the stories of Neila that we haven't heard yet. So is there anybody else who wants to say something? Do we have any other stories? No, nobody. Have we covered the bases on Neila Ferrari? Okay, here we go. Here's one. Here we go. Yeah, we have the two, but I think what I'm going to do, because we have feedback problems, just understand technology. You see the speakers are right here, and if you're in front of the speaker, then you'll make feedback. So please step back here and hold the microphone up to your mouth so we can hear you. Okay, here we go.
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Matthew. I'm Rick and Lisa's youngest. And one of the things I noticed looking through all the pictures and through all the stories that have been shared so far, everyone has had some form of being embarrassed or having someone you know be embarrassed by Neila. But there's something that I noticed, that all of the pictures, so many of these pictures have her with one or two people or three or four people, these small groups. And for all the times that we've been embarrassed, she found you specifically. She would find, it wasn't just a general, she would find you for the clothes that you were wearing. She would find you for a girlfriend or boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend that you hoped the rest of the family forgot. She remembered. And she would find that thing you did when you were a little kid. You don't even remember it. I was teased for falling asleep in my first birthday cake. I fell face first into the cake, and I don't even remember that. I was too young to remember that. She remembered, she found it. And there's that point where to make a joke like that land, you have to be observing. She had to know each of you so well to get you exactly in your weak spot. So I'm going to tell a couple of mine. The first one was when she met my girlfriend, now wife. And this had come a few times where friends had come over, and, as many people have mentioned, I'd bring a friend of mine over and she would pinch his butt, and they would ask, who is that? And I'd say, that's Neila. You've heard about her many, many times now. You've seen her. And then when I brought my girlfriend over, she comes over and she doesn't pinch anybody's butt, and she's suspiciously normal. Says hi, and oh, who's this, or whatever, and oh yeah, this is Grace, and everything's going great, and there's that, when's it coming? It's usually hit by now. And she gives Grace a big hug. She's, I just have to say, it's nice, the Halevis women, they have a type, they like them, and gestures up here to the chest area. And the funniest part of that is Grace's parents were about 10 feet behind us and heard the whole thing. And that's not the last time she made a joke about my wife's chest in front of her parents. The second time was at my brother's wedding, and I was sitting over by the bar, and she came up and then asked us, "Oh, have you two, does a gesture that I won't fully repeat here. And then she sees my now father-in-law, who's a little shrinking in the corner, so of course, blood in the water, sharks smell blood. She goes in for the kill and says, "Oh, yeah, I think it's really good for those two to, figure each other out. In fact, who are you?" "I'm her father." "Oh, okay. Why don't you two of us, we're going to go in there. My car's empty. I'll leave them. Here's the keys." And, it's... But that is a story that I'm so happy to share. It's a memory that I have that I'm not mad about, because Neila did that to absolutely everybody. Everybody got that treatment from Neila. Everybody was treated special by Neila. And the last one I'll share is less raunchy. It was one of my birthdays, very, very young, and I wake up to this low thudding sound outside the door, and I can't quite tell what's going on. I open the door, and it was the year of the World Cup, and the Brazil game was on, and given the time difference, it was probably 4 or 5 in the morning. All the Ferraris are over. Everybody's over. You can hear the vuvuzelas, and people had little tambourines, and everybody is making a tremendous noise. So I come down in my little spaceship PJs. I don't know what's going on, bleary-eyed. Everyone's kind of shuffling me around. And Neila found me in all of that confusion, said, "Happy birthday." And she put a Brazil jersey on me, handed me the vuvuzela, and then she kind of cleared a little bit of path and said, "That's where the food is. Get some food, eat, and then come back and party." In that whole room of all of us and all the insanity, arguably something more important going on than my birthday. Brazil was playing in the World Cup. She found me specifically and made sure, "Hey, you're going to get in, you're going to get recognized, and I remember it's your birthday today. Here's what you need. Get in, join the party, join the family, have fun." And that is that precision to find everybody in the room every single time. And I'm sure all of our stories will show that. So, boa noite.
Okay. Other stories? Other Neila Ferrari stories? What are we missing? What are the parts of Neila that we're missing? You been doing? Okay. Okay, I'll help you up there.
Okay, thank you. I need some words. Hi, everybody. I met Neila in 1990. She was the closest friend of my cousin Pia. They met at UC Irvine. And everybody in the family said, "You need to meet Neila. She's crazy, you're gonna love her." So one night, I didn't know I didn't hear from Neila or anything. She had just came back from Brazil. We went to Newport Beach to a hotel that had a restaurant and then a dancing place on top. And I'm there with my uncle, my aunt, my cousin. We're walking, and Neila shows up right there. And it was love at first sight, like everybody else with Neila. And then I stayed with her in Laguna Beach. Your mom let us stay there for a month one time when they were traveling with your dad, Jason, and we stayed there. I met so many people through her that are here today. I was thinking that I cannot say goodbye to Neila. I'm sorry, I can't. And so I choose to keep her in my life forever. I know she's in a better place. I know she probably is looking up on us right now. One thing I can say is that since I met Neila, my life was not the same. and she made a difference, and I'm grateful forever for that. And I just have her with me. It's the way it is, and it's going to be. I cannot say bye to her. That's it.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a Neila story you want to share? No? Oh, we have another one. Great.
I'm Nick, Rick's eldest, and less of a story, more of an observation about Neila. Everybody in this room has experienced her wacky sense of humor, her way to just come in and find you and make you cringe a little bit and make you laugh and wonder what just happened as she walked on to meet somebody else. And I used to love bringing my friends over in high school because they were all a little more quiet, and just watching them squirm a little bit as she came up and met them for the first time was comedy gold. She was crazy in a calculated way and in a good way, because embarrassing things like that are only embarrassing if you're not in on the family. And she knew that the best way to get you into the family is to just bust right through that little barrier. Not beat around the bush, not hide behind it, just come up and say something weird and go, it's not embarrassing, you're part of the family. To someone that she had just met, to someone that she had known all her life, to someone that she was, to a passerby on the street. She knew how to bring you into her orbit and into her world and into her family and welcome you into it. And I didn't quite get that at first when I was younger. I thought, she's just a crazy aunt. Yes, she was the crazy aunt, but she was the crazy loving aunt and loved you the moment that you walked in the room.
Thank you. We have about 25 minutes left on our time here in this wonderful place. Alicia, you going to say something? Okay. Alicia Jonas is going to share something about Neila. And we have somebody else too? Okay. We have a couple more people, and then we'll do two more, and then I would recommend that everybody here talk to somebody you don't know, because everybody here holds a piece of the puzzle of Neila's life. And we're all puzzles, and we're all consist of these networks of love and human beings. So please meet somebody next to you. And here's Alicia.
Thank you, Chris Jonas. I just want to say that Neila came to work at Newport Professional Clinical Laboratory when she first moved back from Brazil in 1990. And Dr. Dick Richard Jonas got her a job there. We all thought she was having an affair with him. And that's how she got the job. Because she was so flirty, but so amazing and wonderful. And she didn't speak amazing English, but she did actually speak pretty good English, but that wonderful Brazilian accent that she had was amazing. And she somehow talked me into meeting this wonderful man that I'm married to, Jason Jonas. And she was my mom's best friend. I mean, she's everybody's best friend. but she was my mom's best friend too. And I was so resistant to actually meeting him, and thank God I did, because I have our beautiful 2 children, Kaylee and Jared, and if it wasn't for Neila, we wouldn't have our wonderful human beings we have right now. And I wouldn't have my wonderful Jonas family, which is the most amazing family in the world. And Neila was a huge part of that family. She was wonderful. She was an absolute part of the family. She wasn't just somebody that was off to the side. She was a main part of our family core. And I just thank her every single day for introducing me to this wonderful guy here, Jason Jonas. And I'm so happy that we've had 35 years together and 2 wonderful children, and it was all because of Neila Ferrari. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Alicia. Okay, one more. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Margie Sutton. I lived across the street from Neila for over 10 years, so you can imagine what that was like. There'd be times we didn't lock our doors back then. I'd walk down the stairs in my pajamas and she was in my kitchen. And she said, "Happy breakfast." And she would hand me a muffin with a poached egg on top. Oh my goodness, this is a great neighbor. She made our whole neighborhood come alive. Everybody loved Neila. The only way I can describe her with one word was kind. She was kind to everyone, no matter what she was going through. She walked over to my house one day and she said, "Hey, here, why don't you have this?" I go, "What is it?" I go, "That's your watch." I go, "Why are you giving me your watch?" "I have 4 watches and 2 arms. Take the watch." I have the watch on today. I loved her so much. My son loved her, everyone in our neighborhood. We couldn't believe that she's gone now. And so she'll be in our heart forever. And I can see from all of you how much everyone really loved Neila. And I just wanted to make sure you knew that she had neighbors that adored her. So thank you.
Okay, so thank you everybody for being here. And please drive safely tonight. Make sure before you take off to introduce yourself to somebody you don't know, because this is our world of Neila. And Neila, we miss you, we love you, and we're all still holding you in our heart. So thank you everybody for being here tonight.